bumapabor talaga sa early portions ng ating laro.
Actually, and Dax honestly has been... Ewan ko parang mali yung alpha para sa galawan niya eh. Di ba? Di mo mapansin na parang sayang yung micro ni Dax kung bibigyan ng alpha.
Oo, sa totoo lang. I think I agree with you on this one. Now, if they're... I'm gonna be completely blunt. Kung hindi sila magpapalit, if they're gonna do a part 3 here, they're definitely gonna lose.
Same lineup?
Kung gagawa sila ng same lineup na merong 4 heroes that were part of that one, they're definitely gonna lose. But, kasi isipin mo, right? Isipin mo, they're on the blue side again. So, there has to be a certain amount of change. Pero, ito na yung pagbabago na parang sinilip natin. Number 1, tinanggal nila yung Zushin. A hero that they picked na the first 2 games, first pick. Right? Number 2, tinanggal nila yung Hilda. Yun yung nagpapahirap sa kanila in the first 2 games dahil pinipick naman yan ng Team Spirit. And then, number 3, Bruno's available. If they pick up the Bruno right now, that's the ideal scenario now. This is the Falcon I'm aware of.
And again, as much as we all think that Falcons is that good, iba gising ng Team Spirit today, brother. I don't know. For in terms of countering Bruno, madami tayong in-interview sa ganyan. Kahit dun sa Malaysia, puro interview sila, guys. Paano ma-counterin yung Bruno aside from banning? Ganun yung mga narinig kong tanong.
I agree.
So far, wala pang matinong sagot or malinis na sagot.
Yeah, instead of just like banning it out.
Yeah, kahit
right?
gano'ng ganda siguro yung pick, yung gising ng Team Spirit ngayon, that hero itself is really strong.
And again, I'm gonna have to keep reiterating na ito yung sinabi ng sinabi ni na Brusco nung interview nila when they went up against against Falcon Esports na iban mo na lang daw yung Bruno ni Benny. Right? That's the thing na sinasabi niya kasi sinubukan nila for 2 games at hindi daw talaga nila nagawa ng paraan. So now that Falcon Esports is holding Benny's ace, baka sakali na magkapag-asa sila. But for Team Spirit, they are gonna be picking up that Hayabusa once again. Tapos isama mo yung Eve. That's the hero na naging trade-off dun sa Zushin kasi nandyan yung Zushin kanina. But here is a Fredrin and a CC. Falcon Esports. I don't know kung kanino ko narinig to, pero itong CC ang best hero daw nitong si Royal Milk aside from the Phobius na madalas nating makita. So, I feel like this is really gonna be them trying to play with their comfort heroes as much as possible. And nakita na rin natin si Dax na mag-play ng Fredrin in the previous games that they've had before.
Actually, he has shown games where CC is super strong. Kaya isip nila, you know what, pag natanggal yung Hilda, which is actually kaya din naman ng CC, they probably can still deal with whoever is gonna be left. Although Glue is looking really good para sa Team Spirit dito. I don't know if they're gonna pick it right now. Baka mamaya, pwede na i-pick yun.
Yep.
Eh, nag-Glue na sila ngayon pa lang.
That's you, man. That's all you.
No, that's you.
That's all you. Yeah, that's glue. That's glue. That's glue
Ikaw
for
yan.
sure, bro. For sure. I mean, glue at this point, I like the pick to a certain extent kasi it gives the pressure to the Fredrin. Yung CC kasi parang ang hirap habulin pag Lokay kasi sobrang likot talaga. Tas minsan may hirapan ka because of the damage output that it gives. So I think that is where Falcon Esports is really looking forward to. So now, given this scenario, I feel like a Tigreal would be great for Kid X and Falcon Esports kasi yan lang naman ang kailangan mong habulin at some point. So now they're trying to ban like more on the sustainable heroes para dito sa kupunan ng Falcon Esports. So the Faramis is removed. The Tigreal, interestingly so, has been removed by Falcon. Because Team Spirit has the first pick and they don't want to risk that shot.
Actually, inisip ko kanina, they could go for Tigreal Roam to kind of slow down. Pag nagwawala ng CC tsaka yung Fredrin, hilain mo lang pabalik gamit Implosion and then makakakuha ka ng space para kay Benny. So, very good on the bans so far for Falcon. Yun naman ang tamang way to answer. Now, the mid lane for Falcon is kind of still open. Hindi na mapipigilan yung Aurora. Kung sakali, Valentina looks like the better pick para dito for Falcon.
Yeah.
Or Farsa, yes.
Yeah, it could make a lot of sense here. Yung para sa Team Spirit, I think Team Spirit would benefit on the Farsa more than Falcon would kasi may Hayabusa that could easily access the backline. So I feel like that could be a route. Ay, oo nga pala, kasi yun nga, sila nga ang gagamit yata. Kasi may Eve na rin. Okay, I just countered myself. Anyway, now that we have it, it's gonna be a Gatot Katsa, which was banned in the second phase by Falcon Esports. Ngayon ay magagamit naman ang Team Spirit. And then all of a sudden, for Falcon Esports, you still have the Farsa. You're only risking yung threat ng Hayabusa, but then may Gatot Katsa na, so that eliminates it. Right? So maybe Valentina... now I'm thinking about it.
Actually, mas kinabahan ako doon. Pero the chip coming in kind of provides a little bit of frontline still para kay Farsa. But then again, pag tinalunan kayo ng Gatot as a Farsa, your ultimate is gonna be completely nullified, as well as the glue.
That's so risky though. Kasi may Gatot Katsa, you're a Farsa that's gonna have to worry about the split na threat ng glue, the avatar of the Guardian ng Gatot Katsa, and the Hayabusa basic attack quad shadow shenanigans, right? So I feel like if this is gonna be Team Spirit, you're already gonna have to like look at a marksman, and it is going to be a Granger to hopefully wrap it up para sa kanilang composition. Farsa, CC, Falcon Esports really leaning towards comfortability for this potentially final game, unless they can do something about it. But for Team Spirit, it's go time. They wanna get back to top 4. Casters, paso.
Ito na nga ba ang final game for the first match ng araw to, or ma-extend pa to ng Team Falcon Esports? Tignan natin yan na sabay-sabay sa pagpasok natin on the game number 3. At ina nga pala ito ni is si Umi para masaksiyan at makakasama nyo na medyo mapapaisip dito sa nangyaring draft din for game number 3.
Alam mo, when we look at all of the games, honestly, parang dito natin talaga makikita na medyo napipilitan ng Falcon Esports for the most part. This time around, I would say na medyo nakapalag naman sila ng konti. They do have the chip na pwedeng mag-turn talaga ng napakalupit pag pumasok na ang early to the mid. But then again, paano mo gagamitin yan after 2 games na hindi kayo makagalaw?
And aside from that, narinig nga natin yung keyword na a little bit of sometimes survivability and flexibility pagdating sa mapa. Pero we have certain questions when it comes to the post-4 pick din as well dito para sa side ng Falcon Esports. Pero ang grabe din kasi naging mind games. Props to Coach Vren for Team Spirit. Talagang nilagay niya outside of the comfort zone ng Falcon Esports sa draft pa lang.
Oo, tsaka tanong mo yung ginawa na naman nila yung XP lane mid swap. Na until mag-level 4 lamang o makakuha ng early levels, at least na nullify yung lamang dito ni Royal Milk ng level 1 against the glue. I do think na in the XP lane, bibilang lamang ang kayang sumabay sa CC, and with this swap medyo na-alleviate yung ganong klaseng pressure kay Kid Bomba. And hindi naman masyado nagmamatter yan the moment the rotations kick in, lahat naman sila magle-level 4 the moment that the turtle starts.
Exactly, babalik pa rin naman yan lahat sa dati. Ito yung mga pwede nating i-take notice para sa mga RG natin, pero yung Royal Milk! Grabe.
What a play coming in from Kid Bomba, honestly.
Nagatas nila. Royal Milk. Nagatas talaga nila yung swap doon ni Sunset Lover. And even nang glue nga dito Kid Bomba onto mid. The moment na ready na sila, even without ultis pa yun, guys.
Honestly speaking, that removes Royal Milk from the early game. Wala nang gagawin niyang CC in the early game dahil double siege minion yung nawala sa kanya. Nag-2-stack yung dalawang siege minion doon sa XP lane, at bago makuha ni Royal Milk ay binagsakan na siya ng Team Spirit doon sa may bandang top lane. Kaya naman hindi to magle-level 4 the moment na mag-spawn yung turtle, and would take an extra wave para mangyari yon. Lamang ang Team Spirit ngayon at pwede nilang bilisan pa yung laro.
Ang laking dagok nito especially for Falcon Esports. At kailangan talaga natin i-highlight yun, guys. Most especially, inaasahan talaga natin yung mga XP laners natin when it comes to the turtle fights. At kakamangit lang ng XP laners natin. Sabay ang PX7 and Sunset Lover, nakita rin natin yung edge na meron ng Falcon Esports.
And honestly, that's on Kid Bomba. Pero si Kid X naman ata ang susunod. One shot! Medyo nawala ng pwesto. And after getting that big play in the top lane, ay parang binalik din lang nila yung pera ng Falcon Esports. Team Spirit, medyo nayanig sa sarili nilang galaw.
Nagulat sila. Pwede rin palang gawin sa atin yun. Most especially the timing there. onto one shot, diba? And gusto ko dito yung nagiging timing din ni Kidex and even Pick 7. Nakita natin kung paano na ma-maximize yung somehow pag-thump up dito ni Kidex. Yung parang untog na ginagawa ng isang chip. And aside from that, yung Curse of Crow sobrang laking bagay. When you time it right, nandun yung stun na hinahanap mo eh. When it comes to the Forza.
At napakaganda yung ginagawa ng Falcon Esports in the early game. Mukhang sinusubukan pa rin nilang lamangan pero mukhang kukunin ni Kid Bomba. Binalik doon sa Shadow Kill. And Royal Milk goes down once again pero trade naman ata kay Kid Bomba. Sunset Lover na ata ang isusunod pero Sawo nandyan naman para magfronta. And Team Spirit, lugi pa rin sila pero hindi na gaano kalala. And mukhang bumabalik na nga dito sa laro si Kid Bomba.
Na we could see a glimpse na nga lang din of what this glue can do talaga. Kung bakit ito yung isa sa pinaprayo ban. Pero priority kill on the Pick 7.
Bago pa man din makakilos in Dax, mukhang isusunod na siya. Grabe yung layering doon, men. Nilapagan ng real world, tapos bago ka pa makaalis ng real world, ay nabagsakan ka na ng Avatar of the Guardian ni Sawo.
Ang daming patong nun, no? Kung paano ka makakaligtas, bahala ka na muna sa buhay mo ngayon sa early. Pero later on, pwede natin expect na kaya ng timing yan if ever the Pick 7 yan. Most especially ngayon pa lang naman mag-up ulit yung Beautify niya. Pero that's the tricky thing eh. Nauorasan din kasi siya talaga dito ng Team Spirit. And time is all that they need later on. Especially that they're still bidding their time here for Hiko to actually activate. At nakita naman natin na how he really maximizes a Granger when it falls onto his hands. Pero speaking of maximizing, nakita rin natin doon sa may bandang top lane, yung kanina pang na-maximize sa linya ni Royal Milk ay medyo sinamahan, sinip na rin nila Dax.
Kailangan din kasing alagaan kahit papano. Ang maganda naman kasi dito, yung focus ng Team Spirit sa XP lane ay nagiging okay naman dahil tumodouble lane lang yung Granger. Hindi niya masyado iniisip yung matchup against this Bruno. Inaya niya mag-push. Tapos gagamit siya ng ulti niya para makuha in range yung mga wave. Tapos nilipat siya ng mid. So very safe yung nagiging laning dito ni Hiko.
As long as nagagawa niya muna yung mga kailangan niya to ensure yung farm, yung wave na clear na nakukuha ng isang Granger for now, it's enough muna for Team Spirit. Pero hindi yata sila doon magiging kampante at magiging sapat.
Ayun na, si Kidex na ata ang isusunod at bala ni Hiko ang tatapos sa kanya. Yung shortcut ay magagamit. Royal Milk ay mapapadala pero mukhang ang Turtle ay kinuha na ni Dax habang nangyayari ang laban na yon. Kill para sa Turtle. Pakiramdam ko sulit for Falcon Esports. Maliban na lang kung mamatay si Royal Milk pero buti na lang makunat.
Napatumbling pa siya sa tuwa pero dito hindi yata matutuwa sila Benny. 4 members of Team Spirit ang pababa. Dax to the rescue.
Ayun, nandyan naman si Dax. Hindi na papasok ang Team Spirit doon sa gold laner nila. At lamang na nga ang Team Spirit muli pero hindi pa naman ganun kalaki. Hiko starting to hurt pero si Sawo mukhang delikado dito. Binunggunan ng 2 beses at mukhang sasampalin na lamang ng isang Fredrin para makuha ang kill. Falcon Esports still looking for things in the mid lane. Grabe yung batuhan ng mga skills dito. Ayaw tigilan ni Falcon Esports si Team Spirit.
Ngayon yung non-stop MLBB action. Nakapag-warm up kasi sabi natin kanina masyado pa maaga. Ngayon it's after lunch.
Ito na yun.
Na-activate na yung senses. Ito na yung the inner Southeast Asian in us talaga na kapag after lunch, tagang naganahan ka na, nakakain na, at sapat na nga ba ang lakas? Kaso mas sapat pala. Yung dami siya meron na rin talaga dito si One Shot.
Ang problema doon ay si One Shot na atang isusunod by the shortcut. At parang ganoon lang ay may trade naman na makukuha ang Falcon Esports. And this is the power of the chip. Kapag nalugi yung isang kasama nyo, ay may chance pa kayo makabawi dahil nga sa bilis ng rotation. Pero mukhang hindi papayag ang Team Spirit na yun lang ang mangyayari dahil makukuha din nila yung Torre doon sa may bandang ibaba. One way ang shortcut. Hindi ka pwedeng bumalik kung saan ka nang galing.
Bawal kayo turn. One way ticket and nakita rin natin kung paano agaran binabasag nila Kid Bomba yung kit na meron doon, yung isang chip. Pero ngayon siya yung binabasagan doon, yung after the guardian. Nahuli
pa siya ng gitna na Fraser's Rat. Si Hiko na ata ang isusunod nila. Napaka-update na nga dito ni Dax. Makakatakas pa kaya si Hiko. Here comes the dash. At mukhang makakapag-rap. So di pa naman siya para mag-last hit. Team Spirit ay hindi naman na sila makakalamang pamuli. Falcon Esports, hawak na naman nila ang Turtle.
Medyo nararamdaman na Team Spirit ang pagsabay. Hindi lang pala medyo, nararamdaman na talaga nila ngayon yung mas improved version nung kanina pang ina-attempt na Falcon Esports. So yung chip talaga yung parang somehow naging missing piece. yun talaga yung kailangan pala para mas tumapang kasi nga na-ensure yung mabilisan na respo. Pero what about the exit? Pero ngayon, medyo maganda yung entry point here para sa Falcon Esports na una rin si Dax dun sa Turtle.
At ayan na, Turtle secured once again for Falcon Esports. That's all 3 Turtles of the game. Habang si Royal Milk ay nagpupush sa may bandang ibaba. Medyo nagka-crumble ang team spirit dito Naiiwanan ang mga ibang laners pero 1v1 na naman. Royal Milk mukhang magre-regen doon sa Crab. At sa gitna naman ay isusunod si Sawo. Real world manipulation, kumasar na rin at hindi babagsak dito si Sawo. Si Sunset ata ang mauuna.
Ginampas!
Ang sakit na ng bola-bola pero shutdown din naman para kay Granger. Si Kid Boba makakapag-split-split pero babarilin si PX7. Wala na lamang energy pero meron pa palang Rhapsody pa. Kid Dexa nakakonsil doon sa likod. Babangga ng isa pero dalawa ata ang kanyang makikita. And here comes the shortcut. Si One Shot ang isusunod. Yung CC ay nakapasok. Pawi, Noctadog. Yung Hayabusa.
Lahat ng pwede maging tricks dito, ginamit na rin talaga ng Falcon Esports. Pero aside from that, grabe yung senses talaga dito na meron si Hiko and as well as maximizing the Rhapsody. Talagang Rhapsody yung mga nakukuha niya dito ng mga pick-ups. But aside from that, hindi talaga pwedeng i-underestimate yung prowess ng isang CC when it comes to that close range na mga may kruhan, di ba? And the way that he managed na nga lang din na somehow magkaroon ng trade-off doon sa na-attempt ng Team Spirit.
Oh no, look at that. The damage coming in from PX7.
Wow.
Medyo hindi na natatansya ni Kid Bomba yung pwede niyang tangkihin. Honestly speaking, medyo nag-underperform si Kid Bomba this time around. Apart from the Hilda, parang medyo nahihirapan siya mag-survive in the front line. Lagi siyang nakakarne ng Appraiser's Wrath o nahanap ng CC. Medyo mahirap yan for Team Spirit because siya ang inaasahan ng Team Spirit na magbigay ng oras para sa mga carries nila.
He just needs time sana. Kaso nga lang yung time na yun kahit siya ay medyo
Ayun,
kinakapos. Pero ito pala yung ganti nila. Nalabas dun sa Circle of Life ni PX7.
Pag nakulong ka sa real world, may avatar na babagsak sa'yo. At Kid X, mukhang makikita ni Iko magandang pag-death sonata para makita ko sino ang laman ng bush na yon. Isa pa sa mga rason kung bakit nga ba pumapasok sa meta ngayon yung Granger, pang check bush din kasi yung death sonata.
Ayan, lamang ang may alam. At nakikita talaga natin ngayon on how Iko maximizes nga yung the use of a Granger. Hindi lang linear yung damage na isang angulo lang naman yung pwede niyang isyutan or barilin Kasi nga lang, that angle means a lot kapag may tinamaan ka. Pero ngayon, tatamaan ng konti sila Sawo. Doon si Kid X na medyo naaras doon ng Team Spirit. At Lord, marireset.
At hindi nila pwedeng isipin na hindi to 5v5. It's always a 5v5 kapag may chip na kalaban. Kaya naman ipapareset nila ito. Pwede na namang mahuli dito si Royal Milk at wala na atang pagtakas pa. Bakit ka na naman umabante? Kid X, here comes the play. Pero yung Sawo nandun din sa likod. Shortcut na gamit ng rin pero si Kid X ay buhay pa rin. Pwede na airstrike makakahanap ng isa. Si Kid Bomba na ata ang isusunod nila. Si Royal Milk ay buhay pa rin pero mukhang ito na nga ata ang kanyang katapusan. Hindi nga lang tatama ang mga bala. Falcon Esports, mukha na masusustain nila ang Lord na to.
It's always a 5-man na pwedeng sumugod sa'yo kapag Falcon Esports yung makakalaban mo, especially with the chip. Pero for Team Spirit, somehow nakikita natin yung pagmamadali doon ni One Shot na somehow i-maximize yung mga pwede niya pang daanan. Dahil tanggap na nila pagdating dito sa Lord, it's going to the hands of Falcon Esports dahil nga nakikita natin na hindi na nga kinakaya nila Kid Bomba and even Sawo yung nadi-deliver ng damage dito ng Falcon Esports.
Good news for Falcon Esports ay gamit na gamit nila yung power spike na meron sila in the mid-game with Benny on this Bruno na by the way, isa sa mga naging comfort picks talaga niya throughout the entire tournament. In meanwhile for Team Spirit, hindi pa naman tapos ang mundo dahil pagdating naman sa late game ay marami din naman silang wave clear. Let's not forget na isa sa mga pinaka-potent na defensive abilities ng real world manipulation. Napaka-versatile ng ulti na yan dahil napaka-safe kapag nag-real world ka sa may bandang inhibitor turret mo at ang hirap naman pumasok para sa Falcon Esports.
Saka ngayon yung mga pagpasok nila sobrang tricky na nga lang din. Kasi aside sa merong nakaabang dito na Kid X, aside from the shortcut guys is sobrang laking bagay na nga lang din nung nadideal niya, especially kanina yung mga untog niya. Yung ilang segundo na madili niya nga lang din yung mga pagtakbo, pag-rest mo ibang members ng Team Spirit ay sobrang laking bagay na para maabutan yung bagsak dito from PX7. And speaking of PX7 earlier, kung kanina napapunish siya time and time again, ngayon, after 2 deaths, that was enough for him na somehow makareposition onto a better vantage point na talaga namang up until the very last point ng HP bar dito ng Team Spirit ay tila ba nasisimot nila. Pero looking at the kill score, Rumi, 9-8, dikit yung labanan. Pero ang hindi talaga dikit dito is the gold lead na na-establish ng Falcon Esports.
And it's mostly the map control na nakukuha ng Falcon Esports because of the chip. Isa yan sa mga rason kung bakit nga ba madalas ay hindi nabibigay ang chip. Dahil regardless, kahit nakakapalag kayo sa team fight, mas mabilis lang talaga kumilos sa mapa ang mga komposisyon na may chip. And usually, whoever controls the map ay nakakokontrol ang larong ito. And that's why Falcon Esports is in the driver's seat 12 minutes in. At saktong-sakto, 1 minuto pa naman bago lumabas ang Lord. This is a great time for Team Spirit to just try to get a pick off or potentially even just control the waves. Dahil pag pumasok na talagang Lord, expect na may isang lane na mahihirapan talaga sila because of this chip.
At nararamdaman niya ng Team Spirit. And you've mentioned control of the map, hawak ng Falcon Esports. And the way to control the map is of course to compromise yung jungle camp ng Team Spirit or nung kalaban mo. Kasi without that, sobrang compromise din ng vision. Sunod-sunod na yan eh. And medyo ma-awkwardan sila when it comes to somehow initiating movements dito sa mapa. Kasi nga, they don't know kung isa lang ba yan or 5 na pala na nag-aabang sa'yo. And hindi na nila afford yung ganun klase na mga pick-off if you're Team Spirit. Kaya kahit si one shot doon, hindi man lang siya nakahipan dun sa catapult or kahit sa siege minion na meron yung Falcon Esports sa top lane eh.
Bumanat lang ng isa tapos nag-shadow na rin pabalik. And that's just the danger na meron kasi dito ang Falcon Esports eh. Pag nakita ka nila, umabante agad and feeling ko naramdaman din naman nila. It's kinda given, especially around Lord scenarios.
Really
Kapag nagpakita ka sa lane, talagang may pupunta sa'yo. And that's one of the rules na pag 5v5, wag kang agad-agad magpapakita.
Huwag ka munang mainip, kumbaga. At ngayon, na nakita natin ang pagmamadali ng Falcon Esports onto actually getting this Lord. Naabutan ba ito ni one shot? Nandun siya sa gilid.
No! Masyadong maaga yung retry ng Hayabusa. Tapos ikit bomba pa yung bumagsak. Dalawa mawawala para sa Team Spirit. Dax, kalmado pa, boss.
Inaantay ko eh. Pagbitaw, naaga rin yung bitaw nung retry doon, Umi.
May natirang piso. That's just Team Spirit crumbling right now. Matagal-tagal pa naman bago umabot sa kanilang basing Lord. So magiging 5v5 ang kanilang depensa. Pero sa ngayon, na 3v5 scenario ito. They do have their wave clear pero kailangan nilang umulti dito kung gusto nila pumalag. Hiko, kinailangan mag-flicker at isang inhibitor turret na nga ang nawala.
Grabe naman to. Even Royal Mix, sobrang lakasan ng mga buto-buto niya dito. And nakikita natin, even na nagalit na. Activating is killer instincts right now. Team Spirit onto the defending side. Laban dito sa Falcon Esports.
Ayun lang, Royal Milk. Panalo na. Nag-asim ka pa. Sayang, boss.
At sanay na sanay ang Team Spirit sa mga ganon.
Oo, yun yung hinihintay nila eh.
At nakita natin to yesterday na nagawa nila laban sa Team Vamos. At ngayon, ito na ba ang gante? Aabutan sila PX7.
Ayun, si PX7 medyo naging swerte na may katabi naman si Kid X. I have to commend though. Ang ganda ng U-turn niya doon sa kanyang ibon. Pag wings by wings niya, nakita niya yung Avatar of the Guardian. Kahit kumabit yung quad shadow, at least nadikitan niya yung chip right after. And it really just takes a lot of mastery para sa pathing ng isang Farsa. So that's really good for Falcon Esports. At least hindi sila nawala ng extra. Pero men, sayang yun. That could have been the game. If I'm being honest, Athena, kung hindi namatay si Royal Milk doon sa bandang baba, baka nakakuha pa sila ng mid lane na inhib doon.
Or pwede din maging endable kasi
That's true.
Nakita natin yung ibang mga wave nung time na yun, lumalamang talaga yung Falcon Esports. Pero aside from that, gusto ko lang din talaga i-comment din yung ginawa doon ni PX7 as you mentioned. Ganun pala talaga dapat, hindi sumisigaw. Kasi wala magagawa pag sumisigaw ka.
Malala yun, yung pagka nagpapanik ka na. Ayan na, lumabas na nga ang Squid Game at si Kid Bombay kinailangan mag-flicker. Kid X doon sa may bandang likod, sumortcut na rin. Mukhang si Hiko ay mapko-corner roon sa may bandang likod. At hindi na siya mabubuhay kay Royal Milk. One shot naman, 2v1 against Sunset Lover. Mukhang makakatakas naman. Hindi! Dahil sasapakin siya ni Kid X. Tapos buhay pa si Benny doon sa may bandang likod. Si Sawo na lang ang natitirang buhay para sa Team Spirit. What a conceal play mula dito kay PX7 at Kid X.
Royal Milk with a triple kill. At ngayon ang Falcon Esports, nagbibilang-bilang na lang to ng oras. Mga sandali, medyo mataas pa mga death timer for Team Spirit. At nandito ang buong 5 ng Falcon.
At hindi papayag ang Myanmar na basta-bastang bumagsak dahil i-extend pa nila ang seryeng ito sa game number 4.
At sa kanilang pangatlong laban, Match point yon para sa Team Spirit. Pero, nakuha ng Falcon Esports yung kinakailangang puntos dapat ang Team Spirit. And now, they've shown who they really are pagdating dito sa game number 3.
Ito na yun, parang is this the start of the reverse sweep para sa Falcon Esports, ang natatanging depensa sa Myanmar.
Yep.
Men, grabe yun. If I'm nakakashock kasi ang linis ng laro ng Team Spirit for the last 2 games.
Tapos
Pero nung
game
nagbago yung playstyle nila dahil sa kawalan ng Hilda, parang ramdam eh.
Parang nanibago, kumbaga
Oo.
doon, medyo shaky talaga yung naging performance doon ni Kid Bomba. And to be honest din naman, mas naramdaman na natin ngayon yung prowess ni PX7 when it comes
That's
to
true.
being a killer mage doon sa mid lane. Pero to know more doon sa nangyaring game number 3, let's throw it over muna sa ating panel.
Sir, opo. Game 3 na po kasi sir eh. Kaya sabi ng Falcon, G na daw. Opo. Opo, kita niyo po kanina, no? Kita mo ba, Rakart?
Hindi.
Parang ayaw nila ng alam mo yung...
I don't believe what I
Hindi
see.
ko... Guys, kung nanonood kayo nung nakalaban natin ng Falcon Esports, ganito din yun eh.
Mapanood ko na
Ganito,
to.
napanood ko na to eh.
Oo.
Pwede mo fast forward game 5
Fast forward
na lang,
natin,
ganun.
guys. Mapatagal pa natin
Oh
dito
my
masyado
G.
eh. Sa
Diba?
totoo lang, it's a replay. And tama yung sinabi natin kanina, di ba? Benny, you do not give
You
the
do
Bruno
not give the Bruno to Benny, pare.
Please.
Yan ang Midnight Confessions Chapter 2 Praise 55.
Oo.
Hindi.
Naisusulat, kumbaga.
Naisusulat yan, men.
Naisusulat.
Men, parang kahit gaano kalugi yung kahit gaano kalugi yung composition ng ibang apat, basta ibigay mo yung Bruno kay
Walang
Benny,
pake.
walang problema.
Grabe.
It's actually impressive if you think about it na nakapaglaro si PX7 dito kaya ang daming disruption na pwedeng umatake sa kanya. Not to mention may Hayabusa na naghahunting sa kanya paulit-ulit. So, honestly, sa linyahan na yan, impressive na may nagawa siya. Plus, lumalawang pa sila. And maybe sabi nga ng casters natin, maybe it's a chip factor coming into play para dito.
Oo, parang posible rin yun. Kasi, this is Falcon Esports already starting to play in their comfort zone. Right? You get heroes that you like. Yung chip, isa sila sa mga teams na gumagamit ng chip na hero na ito. Although it doesn't really, you don't usually get to see it as much anymore like compared to a few months ago na talagang hindi rin naman siya nagagamit kasi lagi siya nababan. But I felt like Team Spirit has had a lot of access. Although there's just so much damage output na nagagaling sa Falcon Esports where Team Spirit struggles to find a way for them to like build up on their items. Kasi si Kid Bomba, you would expect for him to be the sponge of the team. Although the problem is, he's not able to at least absorb all of that damage kasi kailangan niya ng alalahanin kasi nagsiscale na si Benny. Tapos habang nagbe-build siya ng mga Anticuras and Dominance Ice and all of that, now he has to worry about PX7 kasi he's starting to get a lot of space as well habang nagsiscale na si Benny.
And nai-imagine mo siguro mamaya yung ban face ng Team Spirit.
Bruno.
Chip.
For real.
Bruno, Chip, maybe CC. Pero 100%
Maybe.
The gold lane, kailangan na mag-isip ng Falcon ng bagong gold laner ngayon.
Yeah, dude, for
Because
real.
the rest of the series, the heroes banned out.
Yeah. I mean, yung unang dalawa nilang panalo, it was either them using the Bruno, no. It was them using the Bruno, I believe, in game number 1, and then it was banned nung game number 2 because Granger yung gamit ni Hiko nun. So, for game number 3, they decided to step it up and nakita natin itong Bruno na napunta talaga kay Benny, and I feel like that's the story in itself.
Yeah.
You know, na sobrang ganda ng nag-scaling dito ng Falcon Esports. In fact, it was, Team Spirit na nagkakaroon nga ng kalamangan during the early portions ng ating laro just because of the fact that PX7 would really have a hard time. Kasi ang daming taga-dive doon sa kupunan ng Team Spirit, knowing na, let's say for example, di ba, you have what we would call the Gatotkacha, and then you also have the Eve, and then the Hayabusa. So parang ang daming pang-abot, hindi lang dun sa Farsa, kundi pati na rin dun sa Bruno. Pero ang laking tulong din kasi that they had the Fredrin on their side because it serves as the secondary damage taker na hindi ka basta makakalapit, and before you take that Fredrin down, baka nabawasan ka na ng tuluyan.
That's true. Definitely mas free hit, mas free reign ngayon yung Bruno compared to other lineups kasi ang daming kit nilang kailangan intindihin, and the Fredrin was one of them. 100%. Despite this though, I think Hiko mania pa rin naman. Yung Granger niya, kahit na, eto matagal ko na sinasabi kay Hiko to, nung wild cards or nung Swiss stage pa lang, kahit sa mga games na talo sila, Hiko still performs.
Yeah.
100%. Yung KDA niya does not really suffer that much. So I believe, pag tumagal sila dito, most likely Hiko is definitely one of the top KDAs of the whole tournament for sure. Pero for sure, hindi naman pwedeng siya lang din. The rest of the team definitely had the hard time. Ang hirap i-control ng mapa talaga. Pag buong mapa kasi hawak talaga ng Chip. Honestly, Chip had 14 assists out of 16 kills. So that's 90-something% kill participation. So 100% kung depende sa decisions dito na ginagawa ng Chip, I think they do so well as well. And PX7, siguro may mga times na, sige, ikaw yung focus, pero pag punch back, pag humataw pabalik yung Falcon, mas masakit kasi kompleto sila lagi.
Yeah, it was just a really good mix of magic and physical damage here for Falcon Esports, and you see them as of the moment, hindi magiging posible lahat ng rotations, lahat ng pag-ikot na ginawa dito ng Falcon Esports sa mapa kung wala itong si Kid X, ang kanilang roamer. Just like what Rockhart was mentioning a while ago, control mo talaga ang kabuuan ng mapa, except for the fact na kapag naunahan kayo in terms of bringing those turret objectives down, kasi hindi ka talaga makakaikot. So,
Yes.
props to the rotation early game na ginawa dito ng side ng Falcon Esports, kasi kung hindi sila nakapagpatumba ng Torre, baka sakali na hindi rin nila nagamit yung skill set nitong si Chip. So that was a really crucial point para makagawa sila ng mga plays in the middle of the map.
And actually, if you think about it, perfect din yung Chip sa lineup na yun. Even if there was a Granger. Kasi Granger, magaling siya sa mga 1v1, 3v3s, where konti lang yung target mo. Pero pag nagsama-sama na yung 5 target, ang hirap naman lumaban pag Ranger ka. Ang hirap pumili ng target sa totoo lang. That's why you also had to make sure that one shot also had the perfect timings. Pero pansin din natin, pati ng mga caster natin, na medyo off yung timing ni one shot in this whole game. Kung kailan papasok, laging may konting bitten factor. Even on the Lord Steal. So, I don't know, one shot maybe needs to recalibrate a little bit. Hinga malalim. Kasi ang daming moments nun where I feel like may bawi factors pa yung team spirit. Kung nakuha ni one shot yung kill, kung nakuha ni one shot yung retry. So, things that we have to observe for next game.
Tsaka siguro pwede ko rin idagdag yung when you look at it, I feel like 4 out of 5 heroes coming in from Falcon Esports can handle themselves individually. Na parang kaya nilang mag-isa, lalo na pag dinayo sila nung Hayabusa. Except for, of course, the Farsa.
Yeah,
like, maybe the
PX7.
Farsa would be okay pag nakapag-wings by wings siya, tas sumama siya dun sa minions. But other than that, pag mag-isa lang talaga siya, the Farsa would be a liability. But if you compare to the other heroes, of course, you have the Bruno at some point na it could still have like the Wind of Nature and all of that, and then you also have the other heroes na talagang sobrang kunat. So it really was a winning draft in the end para sa